And you're also working with the largest mortgage holder in Canada, RBC Royal Bank. And so obviously you guys are very involved when it comes to home construction for Canadians in general. I know that RBC also really understands construction from both sides. So you guys would have business clients that deal in building property, and you would also be helping families build property. And so in your experience in doing that, talk us a little bit through it. So I know that there's a couple of different types of mortgages that we associate with building.
Yeah, absolutely, Taylor. It's pretty straightforward. When it comes to construction mortgages, there's two different types. One's called a completion mortgage, and another is called a draw mortgage. And don't get too intimidated or confused with the two different ones, but I'll just give you a quick rundown on how they work. So the completion mortgage is real straightforward. Basically, what happens is, you go in with your trusted realtor, Taylor and team, and you make an offer to purchase on a home. What ends up happening is we prepare the financing when you make the offer. Usually you got about 10 days or so to firm up the financing. So we'll give a firm, when we approve that deal, we'll give a firm unconditional approval, so that way the financing's in place. We'll actually do an appraisal on the property, so we know what the as-if complete value is gonna at least be, when you take possession of it. But the big thing on the completion mortgage is that no money advances until the actual you take possession of the property. So sometimes it takes 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever. When you get the keys, that's when the mortgage advances, and that's when you start paying on it. So that's how a completion mortgage works. Another great benefit with RBC is with most of the large builders, we've got rate holds 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. So we give a rate hold right up front. And then what we do is when you get usually the builders will give you a 30-day possession confirmation notice. And then when we get that, we revisit the rates at that time as well. So we give you a rate hold at the very beginning, and then 12 months later, you get your 30-day possession notice. We'll revisit to see if the rates a year from now, or whenever your possession date is going to be, is if they've gone up or if they've gone down. If they've gone up, then we give you the rate hold you got when you first did the mortgage at the very beginning, 12 months before the build rate when you first negotiated things. But if they've gone down, then what we do is we give you the going rate at that time if they've decreased. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So that's the completion mortgage. Bottom line, you go in, you make an offer, we get you the approval, they build, and we advance at the end of it when everything's completed. The other option is something called a draw mortgage. Don't get intimidated by them. They're super straightforward. And all that happens basically is when you build a house, what happens is we release money in stages. So the builder will often dig the hole, get the foundation poured, and then but the builder will contact the bank and say, okay, we're at as an example, lockup stage. And then what we do is the bank will send an inspector, an appraiser, to confirm exactly how far they are along, and we'll release the appropriate amount of money based on how much they've completed on that project. So sometimes there's 1 draw, 2 draws, or sometimes it can go up to 5 draws. But bottom line is in a draw mortgage, mortgage gets advanced in stages as the house gets built. We never want to advance too much money, because if they're 50% on the home, we don't want to advance 70% of the money, because if 70% of the money is advanced and then something crazy happens, and the house doesn't get built or something like that, at the end of the day, we only advance whatever's been completed. So bottom line,
that's great.
Draw mortgage, completion mortgage.
Yeah, that's great information. So basically what I'm hearing from you is that you would find a builder, and what we know from our experience is normally the builder is going to have requests for you as to whether or not they could accommodate a draw or a completion mortgage. So what we know is that the larger builders tend to lean towards completion mortgages.
We do.
And sometimes the more custom or higher price stuff ends up leaning towards draw mortgages. But really what most clients need to understand is that you guys can sit back, put it in neutral, and kind of hear like Snoopy's teacher's voice.
Yeah.
Because look how much Darren knows about this stuff. He's like, you don't have to worry about this. You come and see me, and I'm going to iron it out. Even to the point with what you were outlining there is, as they do a draw construction, RBC isn't going to mess around with hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're going to make
No.
sure that there's inspectors on site so that the money is trickling in at the same speed as the property is being completed. That's great accountability. And that's also a service that some people I don't think understand. They don't really know that it's not just like a duffel bag, right? Like you guys aren't just like, hey, how's the build going? Awesome, here you go.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on with that.